Welcome back,
Yeah,
everybody. Welcome to the Mansplaining Show with Jake and Dave. I'm Dave.
I'm Jake.
Hey, guys, welcome back. This is the show for guys by dudes. This is two guys giving advice to the 22-year-old versions of themselves, and what kind of things we would say, what kind of things we would try to like. If you could warn the younger version of you, like, hey, man, maybe asking a girl to move into you, move in from across the country that you never met before, just because you talked to her on the phone, that might not be a good idea. Hey, by the way, that girl that doesn't want to fuck you anymore because she came out here on a whim, don't try to take that too personally. She was fucking nuts too to come out here. That a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
That was something I wish somebody would have told. I mean, somebody did tell me that, but I didn't listen because
Dude, I went the other way.
yeah, really.
No, I did that. I met this chick one time. This was years ago. This is actually before I started doing stand up and everything.
hmm
It was in New Hampshire, right? And I had a friend of mine who had a friend, right? And she was from Florida. She was from like, I think it was, fuck, or Sunrise or something like that. So like
hmm
North Miami, basically. So just like Nicaraguan girl.
mm
Really nice chick. Really nice. Her name is Ruth. She's a really nice sweet girl. Kind of dorky, which is kind of what I like,
Right.
weirdly enough. And also, can I just acknowledge that I'm filming this live from the Kia Soul Studios?
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like I look like one of these guys with this rant about the Rittenhouse trial in my
Yeah.
car. That's what it looks like right now.
Ugh. Dude, how
Anyway,
fucking crazy,
no.
by the way, is it? I think I'm gonna try to stay off Facebook because I've seen so many angry posts.
Oh, dude, I have been all over Facebook because fuck him. I mean, he was innocent as fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That he was innocent as fuck.
Oh,
Always has been innocent as fuck. And then when you really dig into what happened, dude, it is a blatant case of fucking self-defense.
oh no,
A
I get
blatant
that.
case.
I
Yeah.
totally get that, but I also know from I had a feeling how this was gonna go when the morning after this. I was still working at that my last job, and Derek was still working with me,
Yeah.
and I know that Derek has a completely different feed than I do, right? When
Yeah.
it comes to news and everything, he was like, yeah, he was an active shooter though, and I'm like, why are they calling it an
No.
active shooter? No, because in his feed they were treating that kid like a guy who came into a to a grocery store and just started unloading on people. That was what they portrayed that kid as from the very beginning. So and on top of that, then there was the guy that freaking got executed by the government without a trial from Portland, and they're trying to compare comparison. So wait a second, this guy kills four people, or wait, Kyle Rittenhouse killed three people, right? Or two people and injured one.
He killed two, injured one.
Mm-hmm. But they're like, yeah, that guy, this dude in Portland who killed one person, and he gets freaking, shot to death by the cops. And I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with the outcome of either one of those things. I wish nobody had to die, but I mean, it's I don't know, man. I think when Armstrong had a point about this a long time ago, not about the specific shootings, was that the reason why you should never start a riot is because you can't stop one.
Yeah.
So everybody was getting caught up in a lot of freaking. Not this excuses anything. That's the great thing about this, guys, is that you're always responsible for your actions, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's called being an adult, dumbass. And everybody got caught up in all this freaking crazy hysteria. Folks are like, "Fuck it, we're gonna burn everything down," and the other folks who were like, "Hey, man, that's not right. Fuck it, we're gonna take all of our guns out and fucking go out in the street and everything." And yeah, that's not gonna escalate things. But this is like the oh gosh, how do you put it? This is the world being on the street corner, fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? Or on the corner, fuck around and find out, because that's what,
Yeah.
like, even though this kid he was declared innocent, right? Um,
On all charges, yeah,
on
because
all
the gun
charges,
charge
yeah.
got
So there's
the
that,
gun
but the
charge.
thing is, he's what, 17 years old or 18 years old, and he has to live with the fact that he killed two people. You know?
Oh yeah, no, he's not gonna like he's not whispering around being like, oh, I'm free. Huh?
hmm
Just I guarantee you, this guy's gonna have
He's gonna.
mental issues for the rest of his life. He's gonna have PTSD.
hmm
He's gonna have fucking like night terrors. He's gonna have fucking all kinds of shit.
hmm
You can't kill. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. you really can't kill people and just not feel anything about it unless you're a complete sociopath
Yeah,
or
or you've been
psychopath.
trained to do it. You know, like that's what
Yeah.
they do with
Even if you
military.
were justified, though, even if you were justified, it takes something out of you.
Mm-hmm.
It fucks with your head. It just does.
Yeah,
You know
this
what
is
I
a
mean?
kid who thought he was being idealistic, and I mean, he should never have been there. I think, um,
Yeah.
you know, but let's put it this way. I mean, if this kid hadn't crossed state lines and had his gun with him, which, uh, then there's a good chance he wouldn't have been in that situation and shot two people, and at this point where he had to kill two people to defend himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
But
I also get
yeah.
the fact that if people are fucking coming at you and they're trying to hurt, it's not like those guys were going to go and just fucking, punch him until then, slap him and then say, that's it, you better learn your lesson. Like, if somebody's fucking charging you like that and you got a gun, like, yeah, I don't blame him. I honestly don't blame that kid. But it sucks, though. But the thing is, what sucks even more is the fact that the Facebook feed that I got to listen to now is these guys are just everybody. They have a very different perspective of reality than what I have right now. And I'm not saying that what I'm seeing is right either, because at this point, reality, or at least as far as social media is concerned, has been so fucking fragmented, and everybody has their own take at stuff. It's hard to figure out what's, why we can't agree on the same thing. And by the way, the more discord there is, let me put my tinfoil hat on. Which, by the way, fucking Zoom, if you guys can make if you guys can make a little filter where I suddenly put on a tinfoil hat, that would be amazing. Here, you know what? Let me
Nah,
see.
I mean, but the thing is like I think that the whole race angle is muddying the argument. It's muddying the it's what's really the problem.
Well,
You
luckily
watch that
he
court case.
killed two white people, right?
Yeah, they're all three people involved were white.
Oh, thank God.
And yeah,
So
no,
no.
no, but like the thing is like if you watch the case, like that prosecution, man, they were doing some shady shit,
Oh yeah.
and absolutely shady shit, like real, like I mean, borderline, like they were not borderline, they were breaking constitutional like laws and shit,
Oh yeah.
like trying to use the fact that he was silent when he got arrested as against him, which you can't do.
Says
You
that
can't. It's been a
you have
yeah,
the
but you
right to
can't be
remain
like, well, he
silent.
didn't say
Anything you can
anything.
or can't you say can or can't be used against you in a court of law. Okay.
Yeah,
So there's my right to remain silent, and they're like, "Oh, this guy
and
wasn't even talking." I'm like,
yeah, you can't say that in court.
mm-hmm.
And like and how they gave the defense. There was a drone thing. There's a drone video,
Mm.
right, of the shooting, and they gave the defense a shitty cop. Like we're talking like it's like when you go on fucking YouTube and you watch a video
Yeah.
and you got choices of either watching it in like 720 or like 180p.
Yeah, something like that.
They
Yeah.
they gave the defense basically like the 180p version,
Mm-hmm.
and then used the 720p for their own,
Yeah.
which you can't do. You're supposed to the prosecution is supposed to hand over all their evidence to the defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fucking rules. So they hid that. No one really knew that until just recently because Tucker Carlson used like the actual 720p
Mm-hmm.
on his show. You know, they just did a bunch of they hid evidence. They fucking one of the charges, I guess he fired at a guy tried kicking him in the head, and he shot at him but missed him completely.
Yeah.
And they charged him with reckless endangerment, but never gave the guy's name.
Yeah.
They never identified the person. Now you can't do that in court.
Yeah.
Because the defendant has the right to uh, uh, address the complainant in court.
Yeah.
He has the right. You can't just say like John Doe said that you did this, and then he never shows up, or
Right.
he never, or you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that
Right.
because that's a terrible example of that, and then people can get arrested for like phantom crimes that never fucking happen. It's just it. What the problem is that people got to understand is like, and it's not a black and white thing. It really isn't.
Yeah.
As someone who grew up in New Hampshire, the cops will fuck you just as bad in New Hampshire as they will anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right? And New Hampshire is like 98% fucking white.
Mm-hmm.
That's being generous. So they'll fuck with you there just as much as they'll fuck with you. And small town cops work for big city cops any day.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says because they're bored and they feel super like virtuous about their fucking authority.
Right.
They're the fucking worst. They're the worst. as someone who's lived in both, I take a big city cop over a small town cop any fucking day.
Yeah.
Now, um, the problem is that this what should be talked about
Right.
is that the criminal justice in this country is fucked for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But so that what they do though is they paint it as a race thing, but nothing ever fucking gets fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So they just keep us arguing with each other all the time and not really addressing the fact that we need to fucking fix this shit and fix it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we really there shouldn't be anyone in jail for drug charges.
Right.
There shouldn't be anyone in jail for really having a handgun or having a gun. That shit's got to go away. That would literally cut out probably like 4% of the population in prison, and it would get people out of jail that don't deserve to be in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like and they don't, but they paint it as a either white, black, you know, whatever, woman, female, or woman, man type of thing.
Yeah.
Just to get us bickering about our place in the line and where we're getting fucked, instead of all of us looking at each other and go, hey, we're all getting fucked.
Right, and that's the thing is they have to. Yeah. It has to be about identity, because as soon as it becomes about class, we might actually start working together. What was the? Did you listen to the Rogan podcast with like number 1736 with Tristan Harris and Daniel Schmattenberger? These are the guys.
I watched that one.
Oh, dude, it's fucking depressing and scary as fuck. Tristan Harris, he's the guy that used to work at Google and that helped build some of the algorithms, and he also made that documentary, The Social Dilemma, about how basically a lot of just the algorithms are just so they're designed to suck as much attention from you as possible. So they things like they found out that generally like cynical or aggressive comments tend to drive conversation because they want as many comments on this whatever thread as possible. Or just like memes and stuff that are going to be designed to be inflammatory, more people are going to comment on that. And it's true because I'll scroll on my feed and I'll see something that somebody posts that I absolutely disagree with, and I really have to force myself not to comment on that because I don't want to get sucked into it, you know. And if you, I would love it if you guys know anybody out there happen to know if there's a website where you could say or put a meme on it and find out where the origin came from. You know what I mean? Was it somebody like in a somewhere in Florida that came up with this meme, or was it something like that came from, I don't know, outside the country, which might be kind of interesting because it's very, very effective to freaking like completely just destroy democracy because of this thing is getting in the way. It's keeping people from actually being able to talk about anything. Like,
well, the problem with that is with VPNs, you can never tell.
Yeah, exactly. There's that too. It's not like a freaking troll farm isn't going to use a VPN. So
with VPNs, I could make a meme, put it out there, and you could look at and you could do the background check on it and be like, this meme was sent from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
You know, but in reality, I'm sitting in my fucking brother's fucking house in Phoenix, Arizona, fucking making.
Yeah.
So, no, but I started just unfriending people from like I'm like because I'm like what do I have in common with you anymore?
Yeah.
Like I co-work and shit like that. I just unfriend them. It's just crazy. But then like my cousin say something about how he called him a murderer and all this shit. But written out. He said something like, "I wish I could cross state lines and murder people." And all I wrote down was, "You have this completely wrong. You know you do. You need to really look back at this case." I'm just going to leave it at that. And he blew me up, and then I haven't read it at all because I know what it is. And
no, he's basically throw every single freaking talking point that he's read online and stuff. And I'm like, hey, you know what's so funny? Because you've been freaking texting me. You've got my number. You could have, especially on Facebook, on Messenger, there's a little tiny icon on there with a picture of a telephone. And you click on that, and you can actually talk to the person. But people aren't going to do that. They're going to send this whole diatribe, like during the whole last year, during the protests, and people are knocking down statues and stuff. And I just, there was a part of the whole conversation that I was missing. The whole thing that I was looking at was like, I'm not in favor of any mob breaking down statues, but this is also statues that were put up in the civil rights era, basically as a fuck you to the civil rights movement. So I'm like, all right, that's something I'm completely missing. And this person that used to be a friend of mine, who definitely does not want to be my friend anymore, she was like, well, because I did something where I came from a place from somebody who's gone through recovery, and then how indulging in this stuff is really not a good idea or whatever. And then they try to high road me on this stuff, or that's kind of arrogant. Don't you understand what people of color going through? And I'm like, all right,
That's a cop out. That's
and
a cop out.
yeah, no,
That is
totally
a
it was,
fucking cop out.
and
Yeah.
so it was just pretty weird. And she was said something really mean or nasty, and then I messaged her because I was on my way to a meeting. I'm like, Hannah, you seem very
Yeah.
upset. I'm on my way to a meeting right now, but if you'd like to talk about this later, because I just I had a conversation with John Corelli. Then him and I were
Yeah.
disagreeing on this, but we actually fucking talked. And John's a sweetheart of a guy, even though I don't
Yeah.
agree with everything that he says. But I know that he's a genuine person, and we had a great conversation. I love John Corelli, um,
Yeah.
but I sent this message to this person who used to be a friend of mine. If you want to call, and then they responded with like, "No, I don't think I will. I don't need to talk to somebody who's a racist." I'm like, and I didn't respond. And I'm like, okay, all right,
So,
that's it. And then she sends me this video of like what I need to learn about white
oh,
privilege. And I didn't even read the whole thing. And she was sending me these long diatribes and stuff. And I'm not
uh,
reading any of it. And then she was like, I could tell you're not reading any of this stuff, so you obviously don't give a shit, and I don't think I need to talk to you anymore. And I'm like, then fucking stop talking to me then. Like, you're still trying to like
yeah.
communicate. You have my number. If you want to call, I will tell you you're fucking nuts. So,
Yeah.
but the thing is, what's unfortunate for this person, because in their heart, I think they have it in them to be a good person. But the thing is, of all the horrible shit that they said that happened to him, all that stuff is in question now, as far as I'm concerned. Because now I don't
Yeah.
believe everything that you told me about all the horrible things that happened to you while you were married, because I know that you're fucking delusional about this. I'm pretty sure you were probably delusional about everything else that happened in your fucking life. So, nope,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm done. Like you clearly overestimated your importance in my life. um,
No, I had somebody reach out to me when Corelli booked me on a show one time, right?
hmm
And he read this one that bus driving asshole, the one
I
the
haven't even
party
heard of
bus
that
guy.
dude since then.
Yeah, he reached out to me. He like DM'd me.
Yeah.
He goes, I just want to let you know that you're performing a show for a racist, meaning Corelli.
hmm
And then he showed me this post about Corelli basically is making the point about free speech,
Yeah.
and all this. And in the post he says that he says the N word and all this.
Dude, first of all, I'm going to speak
He
up for
doesn't.
Corelli right now. Corelli is Italian. They drop the N-burb all the time. If you fucking know Italians, let me try to
Yeah.
use racism to explain a different type of racism. All right?
Oh yeah. But I know Corelli. I know he's not. So it's not that. It's not. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No,
So
he's
he
not
sends me
dropping.
this.
Yeah, he's not freaking out there being super angry. But yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I sent a message back being like, yo, wrong fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
Wrong guy. Like I know he ain't me. I know what you're all about. You're
hmm
one of these social justice warrior assholes that just wants to fucking slander people and throw shit at them.
hmm
So I'm not gonna acknowledge that you fucking even sent this. You can suck my dick.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm like, don't send me this shit ever again.
Yeah.
You're a fucking asshole. Like I basically like tore the guy down. Like
Right.
fuck you. And then he's just like, oh, I apologize. I won't talk to you again. I'm like, yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Fucking don't.
By the way, if you see me
Because
walking down the street, fucking move to the other side. So.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Dude, I have no patience for that.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. I know exactly what the fuck you're doing. And this is the kind of shit. This is the kind of shit I've seen in comedy that was disgusting.
hmm
That really turned me off to it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of
People,
weird that somebody had produced one show on a comedy bus. I'm like, first of all, I've seen who you booked, so I don't know why you're talking. But
yeah.
I know that's a fucking snarky thing for me to say. But whatever happened to your cousin? Did he ever call you, or did they just like shut up, or like?
Oh no, I just ignored it, and then I'll get to it later.
Yeah.
Like me and him get along great. It's not that. It's just this is the one thing. He's super left. Like he loves AOC, loves Bernie, all that stuff like that. He's also got some super odd, like really bad autoimmune disease that like is like eight times worse than mine. Like it's real bad.
Gotcha.
Like it's so bad to the point. It's so bad to the point he cannot work.
Oh.
Like he wants to work, but he cannot work.
So basically, he's poisoning himself from the outside as well as from the inside with social media.
Yeah, he's got a lot of free time in his hands. And granted, he's got kids and stuff, but like no job and shit. He's getting paid from the government because he can't work. So he's got a lot of free time in his hands, and and people that want to like get rid of this, get rid of that, frighten him because like, what am I going to do if you take away my shit?
Yeah.
Which I understand that because like, for a guy who literally can't work. It's not like he's got some bullshit fucking whatever the fuck disability that because I've seen that shit about
Oh yeah.
before. People are like, "Oh, I have PTSD, I can't work." I'm like, "Fuck you." I mean, unless it's real bad, get the fuck out of here. But
like you're being thinking that might be a total thing, man. But they're like, oh,
for some people, yeah, but like not some of these people who are claiming it, like, give me a fucking break.
Well, there's weird. Like I knew of a guy that he used to be married into the family. He's not anymore, but he's a good guy. But he said that he suffered a lot of PTSD in working as a nurse in a military hospital. So,
okay,
like, I can kind of see that where you're like, like if somebody said a callous person who doesn't want to listen to the whole entire story and say, "Oh man, I got PTSD from Vietnam," and you're like, "Wow, man, where were you stationed?" He's like, "I was worked in a hospital." You're like, "Wait a second, like." You weren't out in the job. Like, no, but it's still absolutely fucking horrific. So I wouldn't take that away. But I've seen some people that, I know what you're talking about. Not as far as PTSD goes, but I've seen folks that their whole goal is like, rather than try to better myself, I'm just going to devote all of my time to getting on government unemployment. And then once they get on, and they're still freaking miserable, which,
yeah,
I kind of get
like
that.
Yeah. So like I get why he's kind of on that side of shit. That's like that's the only way he can make money is because he can't work. And it's not his fault. Like God gave him a shit hand.
Yeah.
And it's just sucks. And I feel for him. But yet at the same time, like, bro, like no, like this is not how this. You're wrong.
Yeah.
On this one, we agree on a lot of shit. Honestly, like this is what I was trying. This is the point I was trying to make earlier. Is like. Is with the Rittenhouse thing, right? There's so many of these assholes on the left that they'll make blanket statements. It's very binary, like 0-1, 0-1, 0-1. Yes, no. They'll be like, well, if you think Rittenhouse is innocent, then you probably don't think that like Breonna Taylor is innocent, something like that. Like basically making that correlation between like you're cool with this, but you're not cool with that. When in reality, like I think Breonna Taylor's situation is fucking awful.
No, it was absolutely awful. Freaking no-knock warrant, which are fucked up anyways, and then they freaking just go in guns blazing or some shit, and
fuck that.
It's absolutely
no. And then Tamir Rice, I think is his name, the kid in Cleveland had like a toy gun, and the cops shot him from the car.
Oh, Jesus.
Like didn't get out of the car, shot him from the car.
Yeah.
Like get the fuck out of here. Like that's awful. Like that cop should go to fucking prison.
Or the fucking kid who they got fucked up, or the cops fucking messed with and ended up dying in the ambulance because they gave him a shitload of ketamine for some reason. Out here,
that blew my mind. That was in Aurora. That was
Aurora.
Yeah, like because and people gloss over that, and I'm like, whoa, time out. Why in the fuck can the cops pull someone off the street, and when they don't want to talk to you, you can drag them into a fucking ambulance and shoot them full of ketamine?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like that is fucked.
Yeah.
And then and then he dies, and they're like, and then they go on the cover your ass mode, and now they're trying to like not get fired. When in reality, like this whole fucking thing should be illegal. Anybody who okayed this should go to jail. Anybody who anybody who trained officers to fucking do this should go to jail. Anybody who did this should go to fucking. They just wipe them all out. Get them in jail. Get them in fucking prison. Because that is, dude. You can't do that to people. I don't give a fuck, man. That is awful. But they assume that you're cool with that because you're cool with Rittenhouse. No.
I'm like, no.
No.
Mandy said something really cool, not about Rittenhouse, but the podcast that I had with Mandy K yesterday, she was we were talking about masks and lockdown stuff, and she was like, you know what? I see all the shit on my timeline, but when I go on my runs in the morning, I don't see any of that shit. When I go to the supermarket, I don't see any of that shit. When I go to the work, like she's like, in my daily life, I don't see any of that shit. But if you go on social media, it's happening fucking everywhere and all this shit. So, like, I don't know, man. I'm the way that I'm promoting now. I'm trying to use Meetup and Eventbrite. I don't think I need to use Facebook anymore, even for my pages and everything. Right. So the whole like meta transition stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna freaking completely delete everything that I have and close down the account. And I think I'm just gonna freaking go with just the stuff that I need for business for the most part. Like I don't have a TikTok account. I don't ever have an intention of doing that. Facebook was doing this weird thing with the reels, and everything that kept showing up on my feed were all things like people getting in fights. like at a fast food place or on the street or something like that, and just people like
Oh,
traffic arguments and things are about to get violent or somebody's going to get hurt. And I'm like, why the fuck are you showing me this? You know?
well, dude, yeah, and I've been getting a lot of these like fucking hyper alpha douchebag rich assholes
Mm-hmm.
that are like, here's how you make money, you bitch. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh, Mandy was
Like
telling
what
me
the
she was getting like Asian women who were chewing ice with matcha on it. Like, like that's fucking weird. And it's just they're like, here's something you might like. I'm like, no, this is nothing. I keep every time I see it, I turn it off. I'm like, why does this thing keep
yeah,
activating? I don't want to watch any of this stuff, man. So it's
yeah.
I think this is there's the only way you can't expect everybody to like fucking give up social media. It's not that, but it's like I don't share memes anymore. Or I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to even look at them anymore, honestly,
Yeah.
because I think they cause more harm than good. Because I don't know where they came from. You know what I mean? It
Oh.
used to be something like I would make a meme, or okay, the first meme like I was mentioning I was talking to my chatting with my cousin Jim a long time ago, and I was like, man, I think these memes or declarations of opinion are going to ruin our society. And then so I sent that text, and then Jim sends me back a picture of myself that I had from my Facebook feed, and he turned what I just said into a meme, right? Which I thought was fucking hilarious. And then what happened was I think it was like a couple of months ago, it came up on his feed as like as a memory, and then
Yeah.
and then Jim post he was like, I don't agree with him on everything, but occasionally my cousin fucking nails it. And so he put, I mean, and I'm like, thanks, Jim. You know, we don't agree on everything, but god damn it, we're family.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
oh,
Well, oh, yeah. So the story. God damn my car. It has an auto shut off thing
oh yeah, no
on my
worries, man.
light.
You
So
know,
now it
actually,
looks like I'm
you're
like,
looking okay, man.
there we
If you
go.
don't, all right. Uh,
There we
so
go.
this title of this episode is "Take This Job and Shove It." Now, Jake,
Yeah.
we were chatting a couple nights ago, and you weren't happy with your day job, the one that you got
No.
out there in Phoenix. So, take the story from there, sir.
All right. Yeah. So like, okay. I got here and I was like looking around for jobs, and it's actually not that hard to find a job here. You
Mm-hmm.
know that.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of me picking one that I wanted.
Right.
So I finally got this gig, and it was I was delivering Hello Fresh, like those
Mm-hmm.
boxes people get at their house. It's not like the food isn't already made, but it's one of those things where it shows you how to make like
Yeah.
a meal, and all the ingredients are in the box. All right. Some boxes are big, some boxes are small. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I apply, and it's $19 an hour, which for me is
Mm-hmm.
like crazy. And then I get there, and it's hard, dude. It's hard work, which I'm fine with, but it's dude, it's like 90 to 100 fucking stops all over the fucking Phoenix area. Like they zoned it out.
Yeah.
Like one day I'll be in Chandler, one day I'll be in downtown Phoenix, next day I'll be in Glendale.
Mm.
You know, whatever. But you're literally doing 90. It's like an Amazon thing, like fucking
Mm-hmm.
90 stops in a one day. You know, all that shit, right? And you're out sometimes until like you start at like 6:30. You're not home 6:30 in the morning, and you're not back home until like 9:30 at night,
Oh, jeez.
right? And you're just doing this shit on repeat over and over. And that's how the first like 2 weeks were.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I finally got sent on the road by myself, and I'm getting used to it. It's kind of going all right. I'm like, all right, I'm making pretty good money too.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, like I'm talking like I'm bringing home like $1,000 paycheck, weekly paycheck,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck yeah, man. So I'm like doing all the math in my head. I'm like, oh, I would save all this money and get a place and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's kind of the plan, right? God damn it, the horn. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so my schedule all of a sudden, my manager decides that she's just gonna start like kind of not really like cutting hours, but like you know, sometimes days weren't as busy as the other ones, so they'd be like, okay, we're gonna give you the day off, or we're gonna have you, you know, only load and then go home, so you need 4 hours of work instead of
Mm-hmm.
12 you're supposed to get. Which at first I was like, all right, I get it. I'm a new guy. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm at work one day and I'm having a bad day. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was in downtown Phoenix the whole fucking day. It was all and apartment buildings are the fucking worst because you want to flip these fucking orders quick, right?
Yeah.
But I'm spending like 15, 20 minutes in each fucking building trying to get in, trying to find where they want this shit, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all that stuff. And I'm just having just a hell of a bad day. Like it's just Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Right.
my truck fucking my truck was low on oil.
Mm.
Like I turned out of my shop, drove like a half mile, and all of a sudden everything in my dashboard lit up. Like what the fuck? You know, emergency. So I called my boss and I was like, yo, my engine light's on, my oil lights is what's really the problem. What should I do? She's like, take it to Ryder, which is what we use, right?
Yeah.
So I take it to one of the Ryders, and in these fucking Freightliner Sprinter vans, this is fun. The dipstick for your oil is completely optional. They don't give you one.
Oh wow.
Which is right.
That
Like
doesn't make any sense at all.
No. So I go to the first Ryder, and they're like, they tell me this, and I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, unfortunately, we don't have a dipstick for this thing. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
So they have zero idea how much oil is in this fucking thing.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, all right, fuck. And then they go, okay, go to Black Canyon Highway to the other Ryder store. They'll probably have one. They'll get you worked out, blah, blah, blah. So I go all the way over there. They fucking figure me out. But by the time everything's done, I'm 2 hours behind schedule.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm running around doing my thing. I finally get lunch, like around I think 1 o'clock or something like that, and I get a text message from my boss. He's like, and we have cameras in the car, right?
Yeah.
And it's a picture of me outside of the vehicle.
Yeah.
With a cigarette in my fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and she's like, tell me you're not smoking in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Like, no, I'm not. If I was, you could see it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And I'm not doing it in the back either.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not doing it. But I didn't like the tone of that. It was basically like she assumed I was right from the get go.
Yeah.
And I proved my innocence. Like it was a guilty for innocent shit. You know. And I was like, all right. So that was a red flag. So then we have this group text message thing, and I'm having my bad day, and I send a text message being like, yo, this day is kicking my ass.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, and I'm just saying Murphy's Law is in full effect, and that's all I said.
Yeah.
I get a phone call like an hour later being like, all right, what's the problem? I go, oh man, I'm just having a bad day. I'm 2 hours behind. Every order's taking forever. I'm just having a bad one. And
yeah.
I didn't say anything about help, but I kind of inferred it like, hey, can you? And then she goes, okay, well, can you tell me something? Why'd you go off route? And I was like, what? Why did I'm like, because of the oil, remember? And she's like, okay, all right. Like in that tone, I was like, are you fucking shitting me right now?
Yeah.
Like I told her like why, and it was like it was like you got away with it this time.
Yeah.
Attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm getting my fucking shit pushed in, and you're copping a fucking attitude with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked me about another thing, and I was like, yeah, you guys scheduled me to go all the way to fucking Scottsdale for some fucking weird reason, to jump off one box, which is a half hour away, and then drive all the way back to fucking Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, to finish my route.
Yeah.
It was an outlier. That's on you guys. You fucking routed it. I did.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. I was like, yeah, that was like a weird. I didn't do that, but that was part of the route.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then 2 hours later, some guy comes by. One of the guys that finished early grabbed like 10 of my boxes I had left.
Mm-hmm.
I worked the full shift. I get back at like 8:45, drop off because I couldn't finish the route.
Yeah.
Like 7 or 8 left. And then all of a sudden, this is on Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I have tomorrow off. Supposed to be working, I have it off. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself because we also had Wednesday off,
right?
Because there's two crews who work there, and we alternate Wednesdays.
Right.
And that Wednesday coming up, we had it off. So now I'm thinking like, man, I'm not gonna work till Sunday, man. Are you fucking? Unless they pick up a shift, which is fucking hate that shit, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Tuesday night, she starts texting everybody, being like, being at 7:15. And I'm like, wait, I thought we had the fucking day off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, all right. So I see that text message, and I'm like, okay, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I wake up a little early. I wake up a little bit early on that day, and like I wake up when I normally wake up, but like we normally have to be there at 6:30.
Yeah.
I wake up when I normally wake up, so I was like, I'm kind of like, you know, whatever. So I just didn't want to sit around my house for like 20 minutes doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I got in my car. I was like, fuck it, I'll go down there. I'll help them out until I get my route, which will be later in the day. But at least I can help them load their trucks and come the fuck out of there fast.
Yeah.
That was my thought process.
Right.
I go into the fucking building. No one's in the fucking little area where I'll meet up at. So I go into the fucking back where the warehouse is, and the other manager, this guy named Maruro, probably pronouncing his name wrong, sees me and goes, "Hey, goddamn horn, sorry." Sees me and he goes, "Hey, Jacob, you have Route 18."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Okay." Like I wasn't asking for anything. He just gave it to me. He
Right.
goes, "Get your truck ready and meet me in the back." I'm like, "Okay." So I grab my truck. By the way, this is at like 6:41, 6:42.
Mm-hmm.
Get in my fucking Sprinter van, do all my pre-log bullshit that they keep doing this fucking crappy app that we have to have on our phone.
Yeah.
And then I go in the back, and there's like a boss, like their boss, this fucking douchey fucking like 25-year-old asshole
Mm-hmm.
who I've never talked to, don't even know his fucking name. He sees me and goes, "Hey, aren't you with Karina's crew?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You were supposed to be until 7:15." I'm like, "Okay, all right." He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just parking my van over here, and then I'm gonna help them load." He goes, "Yeah, do that." I'm like, "Okay, whatever, man."
Right.
So I parked my van. I go in there. I scanned my shit, which I did that first, and then I went and started helping.
Right.
This clown, this fucking douche pickle, fucking goes to my boss and gives her an earful about me coming in early.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, And then she comes to me. She comes to me with like, she's pissed.
Yeah.
She's pissed. She's like, "What time?" She goes, "What time did I tell you to come into?" And I thought at the time that it said be here by 7:15,
Yeah.
not at,
Mm-hmm.
but by. So I didn't think anything of it. It was at. She did say at 7:15, so I was early. But again, you're really gonna yell at a motherfucking employee? You're gonna yell at one of your fucking employees for being early?
Yeah.
Are you fucking shitting me? Who came in early, not to milk the clock, but to
Yeah.
help?
Right.
You're gonna fucking yell at this fuck? I'm like, that's when I was like, my manager fucking bells are going off.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What time did I tell you to come in?" I go, "I think it was 7:15." She goes, "Yeah, and you came in early. What'd you come in early for?" I'm like, "Came in to help." She's like, "When I tell you to do something, you do it."
Oh, fuck
And
her.
dude, I looked at her right in the face, dude. I gave her the heaviest eye roll ever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and I kind of sighed and looked at her like sideways, like cockeyed. And I was like, "Uh-huh." And she goes, "Now, next time I tell you to come in at 7:15, you better be here at 7:15." I was like, "All right, whatever." I walked away.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I'm like, I was about to walk the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I was like, right then and there, "Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you." Because the whole drive in, I'm like, one thing happens today, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
One thing. And that was the thing. But I was like, listen, like, this is a busy ass day. Plus the big wigs were there.
Mm-hmm.
The big wigs, like people, like the guys who like sign paychecks and shit was there.
Yeah. I would throw the
And
keys at her right in front of him and say, "Fuck you."
Oh, I wanted to, man. I wanted to, but yeah, there's a lot of guys there that needed that pay. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it would have been great, but I knew the collateral damage would have been just too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't just be fucking her over, which would have been awesome, but I would have been fucking over a lot of other people that just didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Because the people I work with were actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have no issue with the actual fellow employees, including the head driver guy. This guy named Chris Distel. I'll tell you about him later. He's a really nice guy. He's a very interesting dude. But I load up my truck. So this is the funniest part.
Mm-hmm.
She calls me over to like this board that has all of our routes on it.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "So you're taking 18?" I go, "Yeah, I guess." And she goes, "So is your stuff scanned?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, it is." I go, "Yeah, it's scanned. It's ready to go." She's like, "All right." And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Go help them load." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go help them load if they're doing already."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I go help load, and then I go to go grab something. I think like a drink or something, my coffee. And Francisco, the guy, the head driver, goes, "Oh, Karina wants to talk to you." And I was like, "All right." So I go in the front area, and Karina looks at me. She's like, "I'm gonna send you home." And I was like, "What? You're gonna send me home?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna send you home. Just go out there and help, and then we'll talk about it later. Go out and help, and I'll talk about it."
Like,
So
no.
step out into the yeah. So I go out into the fucking warehouse, and I'm pissed. Like, I'm fucking silent. I'm not saying anything. Nothing. I'm fucking fuming.
Yeah.
Like, my phone fucking rings. It's Maruro, the other supervisor, and goes, "Yo, Jacob, your truck's ready." He goes, "Go load it." And I'm like, "All right, we're loading my truck. Cool."
All right.
So I pull in. I fucking load my truck. and that's it. I go about my day,
Mm.
and I finish my route, and the whole drive, I'm just like, this is it. I'm done with this. This is the last day
Yeah.
of my shift. The whole day. And I left there, and I fucking signed out, finished the whole route. It was actually a super easy route. Got done at like 7:30 or so.
Wow.
Fucking went home, and the first thing I did the next morning, no, that day I got a phone call from a furniture warehouse that was like, "You want to get interviewed?" I was like, "Yes, I do."
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a job because I wasn't gonna quit without a job.
Yeah.
So I go to the furniture warehouse. Furniture warehouse is like, "Yeah, we're hiring, $15 an hour. It's like 48 hours a week. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, cool, take it." And I got it. I got
Oh,
the job. It was like fucking super easy.
nice.
So I drive back, and I call up Ken, who's like one of our big bosses, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, Ken," and he likes me. I call up Ken. I was like, "Yeah, Ken, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, man, but I quit."
Yeah.
And I told him exactly why. I'm like, "Karina sucks as a boss.
Yeah.
She takes shit personal. She's hyper like authoritative. Like she wants to be in charge because she's super insecure. I don't want to fucking deal with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I don't want to be a part of this crew." And like, well, how about we put you on Maruro's crew? I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. I'm sorry.
What are you?
But yeah, I think it's that. Yeah,
Mm.
it's the M's and the U's and the A's. It's me. I can't fucking say them.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm not trying to be racist.
Yeah.
But so I tell him no because it's not him. In fact, I've worked for him for him before on like overtime days.
Yeah.
But I just want to be. I didn't want to be in that building anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't like it had an Amazon feel to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
No,
an
it totally
Amazon
did.
job.
And obviously
Yeah.
that person should not have been in charge.
Oh, she's a fucking garbage boss.
Yeah.
Awful. So no, it gets better.
Oh.
This gets better. This gets way better. To quote The Simpsons, everything's coming up Millhouse.
Right.
So I quit, and then first he tells me, he goes, "All right, you're done with HelloFresh," and because it's a temp agency,
Mm-hmm.
I just quit that job. I'm still in the temp agency.
Okay.
So now they're gonna try and find me something else to do, and I was like, "All right." It's like, "Hey, how about this? How about you drive a box truck?" And I'm like, "Oh, god damn it!" But they're like, "No, you're gonna drive it to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna stay there for 3 days."
Right.
Like drive in Monday, do some routes, stay overnight on them,
Right.
like hotel meals, all that shit for 2 days, like Monday and Tuesday. Come back Wednesday, work a regular shift locally on Thursday and Friday, have weekends off, and you make 18.
Wow.
And I was like, oh shit, I'm interested. That wasn't in stone, right? But
yeah.
I'm interested. But I'm still on Indeed. I'm still looking around because you never know.
Yeah.
And then this morning, this is when it gets great. So this morning, I'm driving my coffee, right? And I'm kind of this weird existential dread that, like, not like I regret quitting my job, but I'm afraid I'm never going to find a job that's going to pay like that.
Oh, yeah.
The pay is yeah. So I'm driving to Quick Trip to get a coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy calls me. This guy named Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Hey, Kevin from Tri-City Refrigeration or something like that."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, hi," because dude, Indeed, it's like buckshot. You're just throwing it out everywhere.
Exactly.
And I openly tell people this, like when they call me for jobs, I'm like, "You gotta be like very specific, man."
Yeah.
I forgot. I just been fucking throwing it out there.
Right.
I don't know. And they're like, "Yeah, no, it's a refrigeration job. I think it pays up. We started 18. I just want to know if we can talk to you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah," but I was like all foggy because I hadn't had my coffee yet, and I told him that. I'm like, "Sorry, man, I'm a little out of it. I haven't had my morning coffee yet." He laughed about it.
Yeah.
So I tell him I'll meet him at 11. I come back home, shower, shave, all that shit, fucking look nice and shit like that. I go there. Place is 15 minutes from my house.
Nice.
No highway.
Oh wow.
No highway, which is great. You lived here.
Right.
You're right. If you don't have to get on 17, 101, or any of that shit, or 10.
I lived in Tempe, man, so I had the 202 plus the 60, so everything was fucking easy for me.
Yeah. But so I go there, and this place, their whole job is like they basically fix Sub-Zero freezes and anything associated with Sub-Zero, the brand.
Okay.
They're like they're the warranty company.
Oh yeah.
Like so if you need your shit fixed, it always goes to them.
Gotcha.
And there's a lot of people with really nice. They're building a lot of houses, and a lot of these new houses have Sub-Zeros in them.
Okay.
So it's literally half the fucking city, right? And the guy's like, "Yeah," and I start talking to him. He hit it off, man. This guy's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. like and it has that small business feel,
Mm-hmm.
which I dig. I fucking love that shit, you know. And he's like, we're trying to grow, and then COVID, we started talking stuff like that. And he joked around with me about my second to last job at Sexy Pizza.
Yeah.
It's like, Sexy Pizza, seriously?
Like, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, just yeah. And then we joked around about that. And so he explained the job to me, and I was like, all right. So basically, I'm like learning a trade too. Like I'll be
Yeah.
learning refrigeration,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm like, all right, well that's cool. I'm making $18 an hour. It's a 9 to 5 job, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's not too far from my house. There's a quick trip on the fucking way,
Yep.
like that, you know, and that's big for me. I mean,
Dude, their
I know
coffee
it's
and a
small, but
custard
like,
filled donut is fucking amazing. You get a pack of smokes, fucking Slim Jim,
yeah.
you're all set.
And every morning I can, if there's a store that or something, a place that I like to stop at that's literally on the way,
Mm-hmm.
that's fucking great.
Yeah.
That makes my day. That makes that makes my world easier. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, so like I'm thinking like, oh, it's only $18 an hour. You know, this is a good job to have.
Mm-hmm.
But then he explains it to me. He's like, yeah, man, $18 an hour. Then like in a month or two we'll talk, and we'll talk money, and then I'll bump you probably up to something like 23. And I was like,
You're like,
word?
like
I'm like, well, what? And then he goes, yeah, man, like, and then we'll like probably either keep you here, like being like a warehouse guy, because that's what they want me to be, is basically like
yeah.
someone like run the warehouse, like keep track of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. He goes, we keep you here, probably pay you, 25 after we, figure out what we want you to do inside of here. But then eventually we're gonna want you to be a technician, and their technicians make pretty good money.
Mm.
He goes, yeah, our top technicians make like 130K a year.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, dude, freaking
goes,
AC units in Phoenix, that's a no-brainer, man. That's
yeah.
you will always have work.
But this is exactly how he phrased it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, our top technicians make 130K a year,
Mm-hmm.
but our worst ones make like 80.
Yeah.
Which means like I could suck ass at this and still make 80K.
Right.
Which fucking, dude, oh man, and he was like, and we got along great. Like this is, I mean, dude, you want to talk about stepping into a fucking pile of dog shit that's actually gold?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
That's
like
nice.
I left there, dude. I left there stoked out of my mind. I was like,
like, hey, you don't drug test, do you? Because
dude, I don't know if they do her yet. I'm not. I don't want to. Obviously, don't want to ask.
Yeah.
But like, I'm gonna feel it out, and I'm gonna, but I'm gonna be smart about it. I'm not gonna like show up there stone, because this place is like a job that I could like have a career with,
yeah.
and not have it like run my life though.
Yeah.
Where it's all I'm doing all the time. That was my big fear with this other job. Is like they want you. God damn it. They want you to basically like live there.
Yeah.
And have this place be your. And I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
I made that decision a very, 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 very long time ago. Right, there we go.
Did you ever see that movie Moneyball?
Moneyball, oh yeah.
Yeah, which there was a great, like, that whole movie, because I'm like, all right, this is, they got this new thing they're trying with stats and all this other stuff, and the rest of the best, people who've been doing baseball for years are all against him. But everything in that movie came down to when he gets offered that position by the Red Sox. And there's this one line, he says, I made one decision long ago based on money, and I swore I would never do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's freaking crazy. But yeah, that was one of those things like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, that's,
it's, I mean, it's great for, I'm not saying that as a saying, oh, you shouldn't, I mean, the AC job is great. I'm talking about in reference to that job you fucking hated. The HelloFresh stuff where it's kind of like, if you stay there just for the money, you're kind of giving away a part of yourself. Like you're devaluing your happiness by saying, well, my happiness isn't worth more than $19 an hour, because if it was, I wouldn't do this job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good that you're like, nah, I don't want to fucking do this. I mean, granted, it would have been nice if you threw shit at this girl before you left, but.
Oh man, yeah. No, I mean, trust me. I mean, the thing is like, I think it might have been karma too, because like.
Well, that's why they're using a temp agency, because they can't fucking hire on their own, because nobody wants to work for them. So that's.
Yeah. No. Yeah, absolutely. Because the job's rough.
Mm-hmm.
And I even told when I told this guy Ken, who runs the whole thing, who runs the hiring,
mm-hmm.
I even told him that, like, dude, I'm like, I knew this job was going to be a backbreaker when I first got on it, and that didn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little, I was like a little like shocked by how crazy it was going to be,
Right.
but I got used to it after a while, and I was like, I was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you add that with a shit boss, with a mediocre human being,
Mm-hmm.
with a mediocre human being who has a fucking authoritative fucking complex,
Mm-hmm.
to where they feel like they gotta be some sort of fucking asshole to their fucking employees. Who basically their only thing that I fucking did wrong is I showed up early.
Yeah.
That is the only thing you can get me on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're really gonna run a motherfucker out of town because he did that and that alone?
Yeah.
Are you fucking? You got to be a fucking idiot. You have to be the dumbest fucking boss in the fucking planet
She is,
to
and
let
so is
that
the guy
happen.
above her. Because with the other guy, he doesn't really know how to. It's like some of the people at my job where they come back in the kitchen when we're fucking busy. He's like, "What can I do to help?" I'm like, "You haven't been here when it's not busy. You don't know how to fucking work in this kitchen. Why are you stopping me so that way it's like they're trying to find a way to be useful, basically, right? Not that
Yeah,
they're not completely useful, just in that situation they don't know what to do. So it's like I got to offer or something. Regionals or the fucking head boss in charge and stuff. As long as shit's going out, everything's going great until somebody says, "Hey, how much are we spending on labor?" And then
yeah,
they look at all the overtime and stuff because of staffing issues and stuff. And so he's like, well, rather than go in and help and see what he can do to keep things staffed, or maybe he already knows he's going to come down and like, why is that guy there early? This is why your labor's out of control, all this other shit. So he gives her a bunch of shit and she's like, all right, I got to give you, shit rolls downhill. Let me go throw it back at, and I'm like, man, I don't know. That's Arizona, man. There's a lot of fucking, there's a lot of cool people in Arizona, man, but there's a lot of freaking dumbass people. They get to a
oh,
certain
dude, but
position and they figure they don't have to work. This is the biggest lie, by the way, that anybody could tell themselves when it comes to moving up in the world. Okay, if you think that when you go to a salary position that your job is going to get easier, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm telling
no,
you this right now. Nobody ever puts you on salary because they want to give you as much money as possible. They want, they're going to give you something big up front, and then they expect that they're going to get. They don't want your time to be an option anymore, which
yeah,
sometimes that could work if you're really smart and you're like, all right, they're going to pay me for 50 hours a week, but I'm only going to work 45. Then you're doing okay. But if they're going to pay you for 50 hours a week and the job requires 70, well, in that case, now you're in a bad spot because your
yeah,
basic hourly wage is going down and down and down and down. So this yeah, that girl reminds me, that strikes me as somebody who thought that the job was going to get easier and then found out that it was way more difficult, and she's fucking like, they probably don't think that their happiness is worth more than what they're getting paid. Because maybe she should have
yeah,
left a long time ago, because she doesn't seem like she's happy at all. She's just used to a certain level of shit up into her neck. That's all.
yeah. Also, she's probably making. I'm guessing 'cause she's a boss.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing she's probably making somewhere in the mid-20s. She's got to be right.
Could be,
If she's a
yeah. My first
Yeah, cause
Arizona, the
if
cost of
I'm making 19, she's got to be making that much.
more than likely, yeah. But let's say
Yeah,
if they promoted her from a driver, um, then probably not that much more than what you're making. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
my first management job that I ever got, which was for Peter Piper, and I was making 32.5 a year and working 50 hours, which
yeah,
was fucking stupid, right? That's a lot of money if you're 22 years old. That shouldn't be a lot of money if you're 30. About this,
yeah,
about how
yeah,
old that
yeah,
I was when I was, because I had just gotten married, and I'm like, well, hey, this is like an actual real job and stuff, and I fucking sucked at it and horrible. Nobody respected me. Everybody thought I was a joke. And my fucking boss hated me. Everything, it was fucking horrible. But I learned how to get better at it. I learned how to do it, and then a bunch of other shit happened. But like now, if somebody tried to offer that to me right now, I'd be like, no, add like another zero on top of that, maybe, or you know what I mean? Not 300,000, but like,
yeah,
so if she doesn't know how to negotiate her salary, which that's an important skill to learn, guys. By the way, young people out there, you got to know what your worth is and be reasonable about it. You know,
yeah,
I'm trying to get a raise from where I'm working at right now because I'm going to be putting in extra work, or I would like to. It's probably not going to happen just because the problem is that the salespeople, they want to be in charge of the operation part as well as everything else. I'm like, you guys aren't doing a good job of that. So, there, or it could be done better, and you need to have
yeah,
somebody, be in that position and everything. So, but it took me a long time even just to get up to the fact that and say, hey, I need this much amount of money, and then it'll be good. This person that you're talking about probably took the first offer that they gave her, And like, here's
Yep.
$22 an hour. Wow, that's great. Hey, you got to watch your overtime though. And then everybody
Oh,
else
they
is
don't give a
getting
fuck about that.
overtime, and she's not getting. And then she's like, her life is a fucking shit show, and she does makes mistakes like I did. And hey, you know what? I'll take some of this work home with me, and I'll just learn. I'll work from home, and hopefully they'll appreciate that. Nope, they never do. So
Yeah.
you know,
The thing is, it's like here's where like the growth that I've had is kind of coming in. Like
mm-hmm,
the old me would have just fucking called her every fucking name in the goddamn book
mm-hmm,
and would have fucking just walked the fuck out of that bitch.
yeah,
Made a huge fucking scene. And don't get me wrong, in the moment it would have felt just the righteous. I would have had the
mm-hmm,
biggest righteous fucking heart on the planet Earth, right? But the karma end of it is you kind of fuck yourself because I've done it before, where I quit a job like that and then like 3 months goes by and I don't have a fucking job.
yeah, because you got like this weird stink on you.
Yeah, yeah, and that like you don't know it's there, but it's there. And um, I towards the end of it, like when I got not when I before I got this awesome gig that I just got out of the blue,
Mm-hmm.
I started kind of feeling bad for her.
Yeah,
You know
hey,
what I
that's
mean?
good. I mean, you have humanity. That's great.
Yeah, because I was
Compassion for
like,
people
man,
that you hate.
you must be just a, and I said, you must be a fucking miserable ass fucking person. And
Yeah.
I don't mean to be, I don't mean it to say it to be a dick,
Mm-hmm.
like fucking miserable ass. It's like, no, I literally am like, oh my god, like god damn, you. I mean, I would never want your life. And
Yeah.
I really hope someday that you fucking snap out of this and you realize how badly you're probably getting fucked over,
How old is
and
she?
maybe you can fucking. I don't know, she's probably like in her fucking early 30s.
Okay, is
Um,
she like super skinny or grossly overweight?
dude, she's like some fucking like tattooed up fucking wannabe tough guy like lesbian looking chick.
Oh, so in the shape of a wheelbarrow, basically, or of a big
Yeah,
oak
yeah,
barrel.
like she's the kind of chick that like wears Air Force Ones at work and
Mm,
fucking khaki pants and fucking has like jewelry and shit. You know what I mean? It's
mm,
like so, she's you know what I'm saying? It's like she's you know, she likes to like she probably she's like really big in the you can just tell she's big in the rap and shit. Like she's like
uh,
that kind
I
of chick.
gotcha.
Yeah. But
Mm, okay.
uh but like yeah. But like I kind of felt bad for because like there's got to be like the pressure she's probably under is probably immense.
Yeah.
I was just the whipping boy. I think that day.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just was. That's just what because like you're dude. I've been at managing before too, and
Mm-hmm.
like if you come at me like that, they don't appreciate it. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like there is another way you could have handled that.
Yeah.
You could have literally looked at me and said, "Hey, listen, I just got my ass chewed out, man. Could you just? I know you came in early. You probably meant nothing but good things, but like, please next time,
Yeah.
show up when I tell you to." And that's the end of it. And I would have taken that and been like, oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, at the same time, like there's a weird what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like a chaos theory in a way. Like the whole butterfly flap
Mm-hmm.
springs on one end of the planet, there's a tsunami on the inside type of thing. If none of this happens, if she comes at me correct and we're cool and I just go about my business, I don't have this job that I have right now.
Yeah.
If all these things don't happen, I don't have this job that I just got. That is fucking awesome.
Mm.
Granted, it's probably going to be a lot of work. I'm not saying I'm going to have to learn a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not just dealing out fucking $24 an hour jobs and not making you do a bunch of fucking shit. I'm not
Yeah.
saying this job is going to be easy. It probably won't be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the environment's great. Everyone seems cool, and it's not like that fake bullshit cool because I can tell right away. Because when I started working at the last place, everyone was too eager to be like, "Hey, how you doing? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, what?" That's a red flag for me, man.
Yeah.
That's a red flag because that means that they're trying to keep you.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep you there because you're gonna be 1-2 days into this shit. And be like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that happens to a lot of people. This third day I was there, a guy walked in, sat through the fucking meeting, and literally got up and walked the fuck out.
Yeah.
He was sitting right next to me. He just fucking stood up and just walked the fuck out.
Right.
And I was like, and he hadn't even gone into the warehouse. He didn't know what the fuck he was even dealing with.
He was probably going like, I've already done Amazon. I fucking hated that, and this thing reeks of Amazon. So see ya. And just got up.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, like this is the problems they're having.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I went to this new place, the owner was fucking really cool. Like, and he was very like that's who I talked to. But everyone who's working, I saw them and they were like doing their job, I walk in and they're like, "This is our office." No one turned around. It wasn't like they weren't being dicks or nothing. It
Yeah.
was just like, "We're doing something. I'll talk to you when I get a chance. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
You know that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like it's not like they were cold and indifferent and assholes or nothing. It was like, "Oh no, they're busy and this job's good. They don't want to fuck it up." So they don't. And also like we want you to be here, but like it's not like you're gonna probably stay anyway. So there's
Mm.
no need for me to go out of my way to make sure that I'm friendly to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Let's see if you
And
fit in here. If you'll stick around. If you're gonna be one of these little freaking kids with your Pac-Man video games and your marijuana cigarettes,
no,
maybe.
but like the guy, yeah. But I mean, the whole situation worked out. But like the point um, that I kind of wanted to make through all this is that one thing I shouldn't say I learned it, but the one thing I think that came about is that um, if you aren't happy with what the fuck you're doing, don't 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 wallow in it.
Yeah.
Don't. Just don't. It's not good for you. And if you try hard enough, things can happen to where you could get a job that you want.
Yeah.
It really can, because like there's too many people that just fucking wallow in this shit.
Yeah.
They really do, and it's bad and it's fucked up and it's not okay because it affects them mentally, and all of a sudden they're fucking miserable.
And worst
And all
thing
of
of
a
all,
sudden,
you
like,
get used to it. You get used to the misery.
yeah, 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 and there's better shit out there. Trust me. I mean, I'm not saying that the same thing. It's like a result may vary type of situation.
Yeah.
What happened to me would probably not. I mean, I'm not saying go out and quit your fucking job that you hate today.
Yeah, but you
And
also
then,
waited till you got something else before you freaking did that, though. That's something that
yeah,
I always had a hard time with. Like, I wanted to leave Bennett's way before I got Pindustry,
yeah,
but luckily because I'm married, and she's like, "Could you please make sure you have a job before
yeah,
you
yeah,
quit the
yeah.
other one?" And I'm like, all right, But it is what it is. I got, it was all done, and but man, yeah, it's freaking tough. It's a tough thing because um, I'm really impressed the fact that you didn't unload on that person. That you
I want
finished
to
your
do though, man.
shift, and you're like,
Yeah,
all right, cool, and then you're like, yep, that's it, I'm done, and it's so funny, and then the fact that you even have any compassion for this person at all, because once
yeah,
again, her life is gonna like she's gonna have to freaking do that plus do a shift or something, you know what I mean? Or try to split
yeah,
up and everything, and she knows that she's back to square one again. I'm like, well, why the fuck did he leave? I'm like, you were an asshole to him, and you need him more than he needs you. So, what did you think that was going to happen? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
some people just don't think that far ahead. I know there's a lot of new people in my job that are getting promotions, and like I know that they're not ready for it. I don't think they're ready for it. So I'm like, here comes a lot of mistakes. So it is what it is. But man, that was a freaking
yeah.
great story. I had a happy ending and everything. I loved it.
Yeah, dude. I left that job interview today, and I was fucking. I have not been that fucking stoked
Hmm.
about something in a very long time. Like I'm talking, like it's been a while. You know, like I felt like I just got like I felt like I just got the hot chick's number.
Right.
Like that kind of feeling, like the girl that you've been kind of like, I want to go out with this chick,
Yeah.
and then she just ran. And then it was kind of like it wasn't like I kind of tried, but like it kind of just happened. It's like if she just walked up to me and goes, "Here you go. Here's my number. Call me anytime."
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was like. It was like, holy shit.
Mm.
Like, and I mean, I don't want to say that I just kind of lucked into it. It was just timing. It was just opportunity.
Wow.
When one door closes, a window opens, or whatever the fuck the phrase is. But that's the thing with this is like, I really wish that people who were in misery, because I've worked awful fucking jobs in my life. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
and I've stuck with them like an idiot. And I'm not saying like work at a job for like a week or two, and if you don't like it, fucking leave and just keep on doing that. That doesn't look good on your resume.
Right.
But um, if you find a job that you like and that you can put up with, at least, because you're gonna have some bullshit. That's just part of the deal.
Right.
But if it's a job where it gives you good work life balance, the people that you work with are pretty cool, and it's all right, then you know what, man? Like this is stick with that for a while. And then if something better comes along, then yeah.
Yeah.
But like give it a chance. Like give things a chance. If don't just run out. But like if you notice like yo, I am going to be miserable on every aspect of this fucking job,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, find a way. I mean, don't burn the bridge down while you're on it, but at the same time, like actively look to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
You got to.
I think what happened was is that my situation, the opportunity wasn't going to present itself for a while because the job market's different in Denver, I think,
Yeah.
than it is in
Oh,
Phoenix.
totally.
And I remember telling Jenny 6 months prior, like fucking, I was like fucking really upset, fucking. I'm like fucking really angry, and I'm like, this is not going to end well. I'm telling you, I'm going to be fucking miserable. What's going to happen here? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to fucking leave. And it's just, well, yeah, I mean, if you could just find another thing. And I was so fucking angry because I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why can't you let me just burn this place down? you know? But that's the thing is, but yeah, I would have had that stink on me, and I definitely wouldn't have gotten picked up by the new place. So there's a lesson to be learned this way, young listeners. That's what the lesson is, especially for our folks out there in India. That's what I'm trying to tell, because that's where the second market.
If you're one of those, you're in one of those call center jobs and you hate it. Don't
Yeah, exactly.
don't quit.
Oh, you know what? Before we get out of here, because I have a few plugs, but I haven't looked at the statistics in a long time. So
Oh,
let's
really?
see here. Yeah. Holy shit, we got. Oh, that's by the month. All right. Top countries have listened to this podcast over the past 28 days. Let's see. United States, number one. Number two, India. Still really, really strong at India. Coming to three, France, then Australia. Which, you know what? I mean, what else are they going to do? They're just fucking locked in their houses and shit.
Those poor fucking Australians.
Yeah. But thanks for listening there, good folks, for all our Aussie friends.
Yeah.
United Kingdom right behind there. Romania. I don't know who the fuck we know in Romania. Canada, Chile, Cyprus, Morocco, Panama, Paraguay, Russia, and Sweden. So,
The Romania one, I think I might know who that might be.
okay. Oh, fair enough.
It might be Greg Hutt.
Do you think? Why is he in
He's living there,
Romania?
I think, right now.
Where the fuck was he doing in Romania? Jesus.
I don't know. He's living in some. I think it's either that or Bulgaria. It might be Bulgaria, actually.
Bucharest is where this download came from.
That's Hungary, though, right?
No, it said Romania.
Okay.
Bucharesti.
No, I think Greg Hutt lives out there or something.
Oh, okay. Hey, what do you know,
Yeah.
Greg Hutt? Haven't heard from that dude in forever. But
He's
yeah,
awesome,
it's just that's just fucking weird. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me get a few plugs out the way, if I may. Guys, I am going to be if you're in the Denver area next Wednesday, the 24th. You want to make sure you get some laughs in before you have to go face your family and talk about Trump and shit. Because let's face it, that's what you guys are going to do. It's Trump, fucking COVID masks, and one of you is going to come out, and then hopefully it's your dad, and then he walks out, flips over the table. So, like, you know what? You know what? That would be the weirdest thing. Let's say if a college kid who's kind of is trying to come out just being fucking like super left and or like super freaking like not I don't want to use it as a pejorative, but obnoxiously righteous with their views, right? And how everybody at the table is a monster and everything, and everybody's arguing, and then just like the grandfather or the grandmother said, "I'm fucking gay," and just flips over her table and then just walks out. And then, and like, yeah, that would be amazing. I'm like, you know what? That would be the slow clap. You definitely want to get that shit going. All right, so if you need any of that before the horrific thing happens on Thanksgiving, Side Splitting Entertainment presents Comedy at Raíces, featuring myself and George Delgado. This is a Ricky Ramos production and stuff. Raíces, located at 2060 West Colfax, Denver, Colorado. It's going to be really, really fun. It's weird because this is a mixture of a Spanish speaking and English speaking comedy, and I think there's also an open mic element to it. It's just, but they wanted to have a couple of features and stuff there, just to show, towards it to close out the show. So I'm like, shit, that's great, man. I'm freaking excited for it. So hopefully they let me open, and or who knows, I don't know what's going on. But another thing that we also have, and this one it's an open mic. This one, I might regret this. I maybe have to do a little bit more videos on it or promotions about it. This is Dave and Bear's semi-professional open mic for comedic betterment. because we wanted to sound official. This is going to be located at X Saloon. X Saloon, located at 9890 West Girton Drive in Lakewood, Colorado. So this is all for Colorado, guys. Obviously, I'm not on the road yet. But either way, this is going to be a different type of open mic because it's 3 sets of 15 minutes apiece. So we're having comics sign up. We're finding folks that I know have been doing this for a while, and they want to work out, stretch their legs a little bit, and they don't want to just do 3 or 5 minutes and stuff. So ideally, we're trying to get people who are really serious about their comedy and to come in there and actually perform. And so I'm doing a lot of stuff on Meetup. I'm trying to build an audience that way, trying to get folks out there to really come check it out and to see something really, really special. The weirdest thing about it is that I'm thinking 15-minute sets are like, why don't you pay me for that? I'm like, if I had money, I would. But this is something we're just doing an open mic. We're just trying to get something. This is for folks who are trying to do feature sets. Not that I'm going to give you one, but that you're trying to get it so that way you have a good solid 15 minutes. So you're going out there and trying to get it work. If you've only been doing this for a few years, this might not be the mic for you. But the good news is there's a shitload of mics on Sunday, and you can find those at coopenmics.com. You like that segue? All right. Yeah. coopenmics.com. It's a great place for if you want to find out where any open mics are going on anywhere up and down I-25, basically all throughout the state of Colorado. There's mics from Colorado Springs, Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, all of that stuff, and there's just a shitload of mic there. And if you guys have a mic that you would like to put on there, just shoot me a message over on Facebook. It's not going to cost you anything, by the way, because that's I don't know, that's my snarky little dig at the because I don't ask for donations. I don't ask for anything for this. And it's not like I'm investing that much. I fucking pay $20 a month for a website. I could afford it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not like, hey, do you guys want to help out with this? I'm like, well, I don't know. I got a decent deal. But those are the only things I wanted to promote for right now, man. Jake, now that you've got a good job, you going to be hitting those mics out there in Phoenix?
Well, yeah. Once this job I got, it's a Monday through Friday and it ends at 3:30.
Nice.
So the odds of me being able to go out again is very, very likely. So I do not at the moment have anything lined up, but I might in the future because I'll be able to all the regular schedule and I'll be able to go out more often.
Yeah, and you know what? When you're trying to find a mic, the best place to go is phxopenmics.com. That's another. Those are mics in the Valley of the Sun, the Phoenix area, as well as Tucson. And apparently, there's no mics north of fucking Deer Valley. So, like, you would think there is. It's just, I don't know. Listen, Phoenix comics. I started in Phoenix. I have a lot of love for Phoenix, but holy fuck, man. Why you guys insist on having a bunch of mics at the exact same time? You're all trying to get a list of 30, and I'm like, that's not really helping anybody. By the way, comics, get out of your fucking comfort zone. Like, I don't know how many comics fucking drive down to Tucson just to do a mic. I drive down to Colorado Springs all the fucking time just to do 5 minutes. Why? Because it's important to me to get to a different type of crowd, a different type of scene to see if my shit works. So, I mean, granted, you can kind of do that if you live in Mesa and you fucking have a mic in Glendale. But, like, I don't know. It's just weird how they have this thing set up where it's like, yeah, you really shouldn't be competing on an open mic since nobody's really making any money of it. But I don't know. That's just my thought. I haven't been out there anyways, and I'm just trying to be provocative. So, is there anything else we should plug?
The show that you just got.
Oh yeah, the Dave and Bear's open mic for community betterment.
The other one.
Oh, the other one. That one is gonna be. Where the fuck is that one?
Not sure if you have all the info yet, but it's the one where your co-headline or your co-featuring or something.
Yeah, let's see.
The one you got booked on just before we went live.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be in Manitou Springs. Oh, I just fucking got my little headphones there. Yeah, Manitou Springs. I believe. Wait a second. That wasn't it. Nope, I was completely wrong. It's Woodland Park. I know where Manitou Springs is. No, it's in Woodland Park, Colorado, and it's going to be December 16th that we're going to have there. I'm not exactly sure the venue of it, but either way, I know if you're in Woodland Park, you're up in the mountains somewhere out in the freaking anywhere in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, I'll be there telling jokes. So, yeah, there's that. Next week, next week, Friday, we'll definitely do another show. I might be on TRT by then. I'm really excited about it. So we'll see what happens. If I come up there and I'm like, what? See how broy I am.
Go up there, start eating fucking horse paste.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit. Now, you done said it. God damn it. Fuck SNL is what I wanted to say. That was the other thing. Not because there was not because they were making fun of Joe Rogan. That wasn't it. It was that, like, I can't believe I try not to comment on YouTube shit unless it's somebody that I know. You know, like Ty Rivera on his thing, I might say something on it, but other shit, I'm not going to throw my opinions in there. But this one, I couldn't help it. I'm like, it seems like every dialogue line of dialogue in the sketch was pulled from a freaking headline of a clickbait article. That's exactly
Oh,
what the
dude,
writing was, and I'm like, God damn it, this is so unbelievably fucking lazy. And yeah, either way, fuck him.
boy, it started the beef between Tim Dillon and Michael
Oh,
Che.
yeah. And I think
Which
Tim Dillon was
Tim
winning
Dillon,
out on that, by the way.
I'm on Team Dillon on that one. He's got a point, man. Like that shit is whack. And
Mm-hmm.
you're the head writer. I'm not saying he wrote it, but you're the head writer. You blessed this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is this? That's fucking that dude. Watch that again, and there's a lot of punchlines that just whiffed.
Yeah.
That just whiffed.
Exactly.
And yeah, and what's his face? The who's the fuck's his name? Davidson.
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
That fucking Pete Davidson. D and Joe Rogan was probably the worst imitation of anyone I've ever.
It wasn't even
an
imitation. It was him just wearing a freaking like a puffy jacket and with a skin cap on. That was it. And it was yeah. It wasn't even, you weren't even trying to, I don't know. It was pretty lame. The only thing that was funny about that sketch was Cecily Strong, because that girl, she could be eating a sandwich and I think it'd be fucking hilarious. But yeah, she was playing Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she was like, she's the one funny joke about that, which is like, this is an AR-15. Would you like to hold it? I'm like, I don't think I should, pussy, and just walks off.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I'm like, okay, that was funny. The rest of it was just really, really, really lame, man. So I don't know, but yeah, if you get a chance, check out that Rogan episode with that Tristan Harris guy, and it makes you look at social media completely different. And I'm like, God damn it, it's pretty depressing. But yeah, check it out and have fun. I guess that's it for this week. And I guess signing off for Mansplaining. My name's Dave.
I'm Jake.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Stay toxic.